Hi, welcome to the bonus workshop for session 4. We covered a lot of ground in this session. Let's look at what we've learned. We've learned the notes on the 5th and 6th strings, all of the notes in the first position. We've learned about sharps, flats, and natural signs, and there's 2 chords I gave to you, the A minor and the E chord. Now the most important skills for you to learn and comprehend with this session are playing the notes on the 5th and 6th strings and using all of the notes that we've learned so far. We need to understand how sharps, flats, and natural signs work and how we play them. For the first time, we're getting our pinky to play 4th and 5th fret notes, and we need to learn about forming the A minor and E chords correctly. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do is a little bit of a review on our previous 4 strings. Our first string notes, remember, are E, F, and G. Second string, we have B, C, and D. You play with me. B, C, and D. Third string is G and A. And last time we learned D, E, and F. Okay? And this time we learned our 5th string notes. So let's cover those. We have 5th string open A. We have 2nd finger B. And 3rd finger C. Let's do those one more time. Open A, 2nd finger B, 3rd finger C. Now as you're looking at those notes written out on music, we're starting to get into ledger lines. Okay? That A is 2 ledger lines down. Don't let that throw you. We'll eventually get to 3 ledger lines down when we add the next one. So let's talk about the 3 notes that we learned that were on the 6th string. Okay, these are low E, low F, and 3rd finger G. Okay, same thing as would be on the 1st string. We have E, F, and G on the 1st string. On the low 6th string, we have E, F, and G down there. Now, this string is a lot thicker than the others, so it's going to take a little bit more finger pressure. Some of you may be kind of buzzing when you first try and play it, and you just physically can't play it. Okay, you have to keep trying to do it in a couple of days. Give it a week or so. Eventually, your muscles in these fine motor skill on the tips of these fingers will get strong enough, and you'll be able to hold that down without buzzing. Okay, sometimes if you practice a long time, your hand will get tired, and you may start to find yourself kind of getting one of these buzzing or not getting the note down far enough. Okay? Don't let your fingers go flat. Sometimes there's a temptation to do this kind of a thing. And that's not what we want. You want to be on your fingertips. So lower that wrist down, bring it forward a little bit. Okay? So now we're going to go through all of the notes in the first position. What do I mean when I say position? Well, position on guitar, everything we've done so far has been down here. Basically, where your first finger is determines what position you are. So if I'm playing like we have been down here with my first finger on this 1st fret, we would say I'm playing in the 1st position. Okay? If I have my 1st finger up here, let's say at the 5th fret, then we would be in the 5th position. Okay? Once you establish a position, then all of our fingers go to right where they normally would go. 1st finger covers everything in the 1st slot, 2nd finger covers everything in the 2nd slot, 3rd finger covers the 3rd, and again, pinky pulls double duty, 4th and the 5th frets worth, whatever position you're in, is how that works, is how that all comes together. Okay? So your first finger determines what position you're in. Then your hand and fingers go to their respective spots after that. So let's play all of the notes that we have learned in the 1st position. Okay, we're going to do this real slow. Starting on the 6th string, we'll go from the lowest ones we've learned. Let's do E, F, and G on that 6th string. Ready? Go. E, F, and G. Now on the 5th string, A, B, and C. A, B, and C. On the fourth string, we have D, E, and F. An F. Third string, G and A. Second string, B, C, and D. First string, E, F, and G. Okay? Let's try and go down. So starting with G, G, F, E, then D, C, B, third string A, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of an exercise here. We're going to go up and down with it, ascending and descending. What I want you to do is not to look at the music when it's written out on the page. I want you to just to try and say and play them just by looking at your hands. Try and get that connection between what you're playing and what your mouth is saying in the letter names. Okay, so let's do them together, starting on that low E. Ready? Go. Say them with me. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, can you go back down backwards? Here we go, starting on the G. G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E. That little exercise of going ascending up and descending down is something that you should do every time you sit down to play the guitar. Just go through all of your notes, say the names of the notes as you're playing them. Okay? Now let's move on to some exercises. We're going to be looking at the fifth string bonus exercises, okay, for session 4. These and other resources are available to you online at learnandmasterguitar.com/resources. Okay? Let's take a look at those fifth string bonus exercise. Okay? We're going to start with number 1. Starts on that A, half notes, nice and slow. We'll take it nice and easy. 1, 2, ready, go. A, 1, 2, second finger B, open A, C, reach all the way down there for these notes, back to B, here come these quarter notes, A, B, A, C, A, B, A, C, A, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's do number 2. It has some this one has some eighth notes in it. Okay, 1, 2, number 2, go. Here come the eighth notes. 1 and 2. 1. Good. Okay. Now, let's skip down to number 4. Okay, we're going to skip down to number 4. We're going to alternate these notes as you're coming all the way down. This way we jump around on the strings a little bit. We'll go pretty slow on this one. This is number 4. Fifth string bonus exercises. Here we go. Ready, go, and F, D, E, C, D, B, C, A, B, G. Quarter note here. 1 and 2. And let's do that number 4 again, a little bit faster. 1 and 2, go. Quarter note. Great. Okay. Turn over and look at more fifth string bonus exercises. Okay, this one we add some ties, we add some dots into it, a little bit of rests. Okay, let's look at number 1. This is the more 5th string bonus exercises. Number 1. 1, 2, and ready, go. A, 1, 2, and tie to 3, 4. Now B, 3, 4. Here's a dotted note. 1 and 2. Here comes half rest. 1, 2. 8th notes. 2, 3, 4. Take a look at number 2. Let's do that one. Here we go. 1 and ready, play. Rest. 8th rest. 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 Okay, number 3 really jumps you around. Let's slow that one down a little bit. 1 and 2 and number 3, ready, go. Then up an octave. And down to C. Now here's where it really starts jumping. Let's slow this down. B, 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 then E's. Okay, now let's take a look at number 4. Okay? This one has a little bit of a tricky rhythm, so we'll go pretty slow with it. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Rest. 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 Okay, look at number 5. We're in 2/4 time, so only 2 beats per measure in this one. 1 and 2 and ready and play now. We have some repeat signs, so let's repeat it. Okay, number 6. 1, it's in 3/4 time. 1, ready, go. 1 and 2. Great. Okay, now let's go on to the 6th string exercises. Before we do that, let's do the 6th string. Remember our notes? Low E, F, and G. Okay, let's do number 1. 2, 6 string bonus exercises. This is number 1. 1, 2, ready, go. E, first finger F, third finger G, back to F. Now quarter notes. Here comes F, G, two, 3, 4. Really reach that hand all the way down. If you're buzzing, again, don't get discouraged if you're buzzing. It just means it's going to take you a couple more days to get that. It's not like you're never going to get it. You just need your finger strength to get your fingers to get a little bit more strong with it. Okay? Here we go. Number 2. 1 and 2 and ready, go. Rest. 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 That one's kind of tricky with all those 8th rests in there. Here we go. Number 3. 1, 2, ready, go. E, E, F, F, G. Then down, F, rest, rest. Number 4. Now, the trickiest thing about number 4 is the last measure. We have 2 upbeats in a row there. Okay? 1, let's do number 4. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2. Did you catch that on the end there? It's kind of tricky. That accent comes at the wrong place. So you're kind of feeling it someplace else. Okay, let's move on. The more 6-string bonus exercises. Okay, how are you doing with all these notes? These are all the notes in the first position. If you're like most people, you're probably pretty overwhelmed now with all of these notes. Don't give up. You are almost there. You have almost conquered all the notes in the first position. Okay? We are at the very end of learning our notes. It's not going to get much harder than this as far as single note stuff goes for a while. Okay? So hang in there for a little bit longer. You almost have conquered all of these single notes. Here we go. More 6-string exercises. Okay? Number 1, 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, rest, 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 rest. Number 2, 2, ready, go now. Rest. That one moves pretty quick. We took that one up a little bit. Okay, number 3. 1 and 2 and number 3. Ready, go. There you go. Number 4. 1, 2, and ready, play now. Repeats this note. Then we start going back down. I realize we've kind of taken it up a notch with the speed, okay? We're on session 4 now, so we're starting to kind of move beyond playing super slow, okay? Let's do number 5. Kind of give you a little bit of a break from all those octaves that we did in number 4. 1 and 2 and ready, play now. It has repeat signs, so let's go ahead and repeat it. And the last one on that page, number 6 and 3/4 time. 1, ready, play. One, 2, rest. Okay? Very good. Now, let's get into sharps and flats. We also talked about sharps and flats. Actually, this probably should have been even a different session because sharps and flats are a whole different world of problems. Session 4, let me just tell you, Session 4 is a big session. Okay? We say you can do it in a few weeks. I was probably too optimistic when I initially put that down. It's going to take the average one a little bit longer than that. So don't feel bad that you're feeling a little overwhelmed with Session 4. This is a big session. Okay? Let's get in the next part of it. Now let's talk about sharps. Okay? A sharp sign looks like this and will appear before the note that is actually sharping. Here's how sharps work. Sharps raise up any note 1/2 step or 1 fret's worth on the guitar. For example, here is a C, and here's a C sharp. With our second finger, our finger rules still apply. So this is a C, this is a C sharp. What about a first string F? F sharp, second finger. Okay? Okay, what about a fourth string F? Remember D, E, F? So we have this F. If we want to go to F sharp, we've got to use our pinky. This is the first time we've used our pinky to cover that fourth fret F sharp. Okay? Let me talk to you about one more problem. On the third string, open G, if I wanted to sharp this note, remember what we have to do for these open strings? Do the first fret on that open string. So here's G sharp. Okay? Now let's talk about flats, which are kind of the other side. Okay? A flat sign looks like this, kind of a lowercase italicized B. And it will appear before the note that it is flatting, just like sharps do. Okay? And here's how flats work. Flats lower any note 1/2 step, or 1 fret's worth on guitar. So instead of going up this way like we did with sharps, flats go this way. So sharps raise up a note 1/2 step, flats lower a note 1/2 step. Okay, let's do a couple of examples. For example, here's a D, second string D. We're going to go to D flat. So we're going back down this way. Now remember how we talked about notes that have the same name? When we get into sharps and flats, you start running into this. Remember how this is a C sharp, but it's also a D flat, because you're in the notes that are in between the notes. Okay? Let's do another one. First string, G. If I wanted to make that a flatted, G flat, I have to go back 1 fret like that. Now, here comes our first problem. If I have an open string, okay, remember how we flat an open string? What's our open string flat rule? You go to the next string down and you use your pinky. So here's an E, here's an E flat, second string, 4th fret. Okay? Works the same way like on the third string. We have an open G. If I wanted a G flat, I go down a string to the 4th string and use my pinky. Okay? Now, there's one exception to our open string rule, and that's on the second string B and the B flat that goes to. Okay, so we have second string B, but the B flat is on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. That's the only one that's different. So we have B, B flat. Okay? Now we also learned about natural signs this session. Okay? I know this is a lot of material. If you need to, take a break, kind of let it process for a little while, come back. There's one more concept I need to squeeze into you. Okay, we also learned about natural signs this session. Sharps and flats have a time duration. They affect not just the note it is by, but every note of the same pitch that follows it for the entire measure. So if one C is sharped in a measure of music, then every time that C occurs again in that same measure, it's automatically sharped. Works kind of like a global setting on your computer. Once one of the C's is sharped, then every C after it, just for that measure, is automatically sharped. It doesn't need a sign by it. But what happens if we want to cancel out this automatic sharping or flatting of notes? That's where we have to use this natural sign. A natural sign cancels out a previously used sharp or flat. Okay? A lot of information there. Let's see if we can test it out in some exercises. Open up to your sharps, flats, and naturals bonus exercise. Okay? We're going to take a look at exercise number 1. Okay? Starts on low F. This is actually an F major scale. When we get into scales, which is a couple of sessions on, we'll learn more about that. But this is an F major scale. Okay, so we start on low F, then we have a G, then we have A, and then we have a B flat. So that would be with our first finger, 5th string. Then C, D, E, F, G, A. Here comes that B flat, that 3rd finger, 3rd string. There you go. C, D, E, F. Okay, now let's go back down. F, E, D, C. Here's that 3rd finger B flat. There you go. E. First finger B flat. There you go. Okay, look at number 2. This one switches it around in a little bit different ways. Okay, number 2 starts on a G. This is a G major scale. Ready? Go. G, A, then just a normal B, Here comes that F sharp with our pinky, 4th fret. There you go. Second finger, F sharp right there, then G. Now we go back down, G, F sharp, second finger. There you go. E, D, C, B, A, G. Here comes that F sharp with our pinky. Reach all the way over for that pinky. Now, it probably feels a little bit awkward to be using your pinky, okay? But your pinky doesn't get used as much as the other fingers in pretty much anything, so we need to train our pinky even that much harder for this motor skill control. Remember, we haven't thought about motor skill control in a couple of sessions, but now that we're dealing with the pinky, we're back to square one again of trying to train that pinky to do what we need it to do. Okay, let's go on to number 3. Okay, we have some, look at that third note. It's an E flat, and then it's canceled out when we want an E natural in the next note after that. Okay, here we go. Number 3. 1, ready, play. F. Good. Number 4. 1, 2, and ready, play. And C. Okay, look at number 5. Okay, we'll do this one real slow. Starts on the upbeat of 1. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's do it a little bit faster. Number 5, same thing, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Starting to sound like music a little bit. There you go. Okay, now number 6, we have an F sharp, but look way over right after the treble clef, we have an F sharp in the key signature. Okay? This means that every F in this whole song is going to be sharped, whether it has a sharp sign by it or not. Okay? It's like remember we talked about that global setting on your computer. This is another situation of that. Every F is going to be sharped in this one. Number 6. 2, ready, go. 1, 2, high G, and F sharp second. 2, E, 2, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Maybe you can kind of even name that song. Okay? All right. We also learned 2 chords. Let's review these forms really quickly. Take a look at the A minor chord. Okay? It's abbreviated A with a lowercase m. Okay? It's a 5-string chord. First finger on that second string, second and third fingers on that fourth and third string. Here we go. Let's play it one more time. We also learned an E chord. These use all 6 strings, and it's the same form as the A minor. Move everything up a string. And we play all 6 strings down. 2, 3, 4. So let's go back to the A minor. 2, back to the E. Back to the A minor, ready, go. Back to the E, go. To A minor, ready, go. Okay. We taught you a couple of songs in the session. In the bonus workshop, we're going to add a couple more fun songs to get you some training on dancing around on these sharps and flats a little bit. First one is The Entertainer, by Scott Joplin. Okay, around the turn of the century. Has pickup notes. We're going to start real slowly on this one. Okay, let's try to play this nice and slow. We're going to start with the first 2 lines. Okay? 1, 2, and 3. 2, 3. Rest, rest. Rest to an A. Reach out for this F sharp. Rest, rest. One, 2, 3. Two, 3. Two, 3. Very good. Let's do one more song. Für Elise, okay, by Beethoven. Let's take a look at the first few notes. This is meant, it's a piano piece, but we're going to kind of play it on guitar since it's so familiar, but it's a little tricky to play on guitar. We go between this E and this D sharp on the second string. So let's start it real slowly. 1, ready. Oh, wait a minute. There's one more thing. Look at that second line down. We have what's called a first and second ending. Basically, it's like a fork in the road. So the first time you come through that, you take the first ending, you repeat back to the repeat sign. Second time you come through, you skip over the first ending and you go right to the second ending. And then you continue reading on down the song. Okay, here we go. From the top, ready, play. 1 and 2. And 2. Rest. 1 and 2. And 2. Rest and repeat back. Back up on the first line. And 2. And 2. 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Second inning. Go. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1, 2, 3 held. 1, 2. Good. 1 and 2. And 2. Rest. 1 and 2. And 2. Very good. I know that was a lot to work on. As you're playing these songs, you'll get them faster and faster, and to where it starts to sound a little bit more about the tempo of the song. Let me close out with an encouragement. Okay? Celebrate the milestones. Okay? The end of this session represents your first big milestone in your guitar playing career that you have started here. You have conquered and learned all of the notes in the first position, which is a huge amount of musical ground that has been covered. Take some time to celebrate this important event. Okay? There are some new concepts and challenges ahead, but now is a great time to take a deep breath and look at all of the new skills that have been acquired in the last few weeks. It is important to celebrate these milestones along your journey of learning. Okay? Most people can only listen to music, but a musician has the unique joy of being able to create it, and you're well on your way to doing that. Keep learning and growing in your musicianship, and we'll see you next time. Okay, for session 4, here's some tips for learning this material successfully. Okay, number 1, take all the time you need. Session 4 is a big session, By now you're probably feeling a little bit overwhelmed by all of these new notes and new alterations to the notes now with these sharps and flats. Take the time that is needed to cover these new notes carefully and well in each song that's presented. It's fine to stay in this session for as long as you need to. This is one of the sessions that you don't want to rush through. Be patient and learn what you need to. You'll be glad that you spent a little extra time here to get these notes down. So go ahead and it's okay to camp on this session for a little bit to get these two concepts down of sharps and flats and our new notes. Okay? Second thing, memorize the notes in the first position. It'll be the best thing you could ever do. On page 25, there's a chart in the middle of the page titled Notes in the First Position. Play through these notes at the beginning of every practice time. Initially play them while looking at the music, and then try to play the notes while saying the names of the notes without looking at the music. Okay? Finally, say and play the notes in the first position from memory, both ascending and descending. This task should become a regular part of your daily practice routine for a good while. Okay? Next thing, play for other people. This is a good session for you to begin playing some of your newfound skills and songs for others. Whether it's family or friends, the act of playing and performing in front of other people will build your confidence. Use the jam-along CDs to accompany yourself or just play as a solo guitar. Playing music can be a blast, and gaining a familiarity with playing in front of others will help you control a couple of great things, your nervousness. And as you do it, your confidence will increase. Okay, so playing in front of others is a key factor in you becoming a better player. Okay, so if you just get really great and stay in your room and just try and make music with your own four walls, it's not going to work. You got to play for others. Now for this session, there are a few key things that you need to watch out for at this stage. Number one, not using the pinky when it's needed. Notes like the fourth string F sharp at the fourth fret require using the pinky. Sometimes the third finger will come over and try to get that fourth fret note, oftentimes without the player even being aware what is happening. Oftentimes the player is so occupied with knowing where the note is that they don't even think about how the hands are actually playing the note. Establishing the habit of using each finger to cover the specific fret and its territory is vital to building consistent muscle memory. Here's the order. Remember, first finger covers any note on the first fret, second finger covers any note on the second fret, third finger covers anything on the third fret, and pinky, we're finally using today, covers any note on the fourth or the fifth fret. Okay? Here's the second thing. Notes on the fifth or sixth strings are clumsy. By now you've been playing the notes from the first and second strings for probably about a month or more. Chances are the notes on these strings can be played pretty easily. By contrast, the new notes on the fifth and sixth strings are a little more difficult to read because all those ledger lines and the fingerings are less familiar. You have to kind of start back at zero again, just like you had with the first ones. Okay, so don't feel bad about that. That's just how that is. Give yourself a little time with these lower notes, and they will become as familiar to you as the others. Get as much practice as possible on these lower string notes to speed up this process. Okay, here's the next thing. Missed sharp notes. Oftentimes a player will forget to raise up a sharp note up a half step when they play, and they will play it the normal way. A good help for this is to write in the note names with the sharp sign above the note. By now you should be relying less and less on writing in the notes for normal note playing, but since the sharp or flatted notes are new, I would recommend that these notes be written in. For example, I would write F sharp above any F notes that are sharp to help me remember the added alteration of this one note. Last thing, these songs are longer and more complex. Okay? We're not playing our two little line songs anymore. Okay? We're not playing Yankee Doodle anymore. We're into some pretty complex stuff. The songs in this session have definitely gotten more complex. It may be helpful to learn them in pieces rather than to try and conquer the whole song at once. Split the song into halves and take one section at a time. Work the first half of the song until it begins to feel comfortable, and then move on to the second half of the song. Finally, when you're all done with that, put both halves together and practice the whole song. Keep up the great work, and I'll see you next time. For this session, you're ready to move on when you can do the fifth and sixth string exercises, and they can be played steadily at 60 beats per minute. You're ready to move on when minuet in C and the minuet in G in the book can be played consistently at 77 beats per minute. You're also ready to move on when the simple gifts, song and the Star Spangled Banner can be played consistently at about 70 beats per minute. When you can do these things at those tempos, then you are ready to go to the next session where we're going to learn a whole new world of guitar